What is up? It's your boy, Anecdotal, and you already see it, bro. You see the update. It's Son Wukong, the man that Goku, Mr. Dragon Ball Z, is based off of. The one and only, man. He got the stick. He got it all, bro. And first, we got to talk, how meta is he? So, of course, he's a UR. And as a fighter, he is competing with Oda Nobunaga. So, we got to see what he's about, bro. So, first, he ups his crit resistance. And this is a passive. He ups his crit resistance. He gets 3 every time he gets hit, and it's a non-crit. He gets stronger. What? He reduces damage taken. He increases his attack speed, and finally at the end, and it might take a while though, but finally at the end, his attack goes up. Bro, his stats probably are kind of low if you're gonna get this kind of buff, a self buff. All right, and this active right here, he gets a phantom clone. And the clone that he makes, his own phantom, will have its own, like, clone, which is called a shadow. And it'll only be out for 8 seconds, though. And then 90%, that's pretty much 100%, really. So just a second copy of you that brings out a phantom. Bro, so your phantom brings out a shadow. And it happens multiple times. And you get stronger with that as well. So they just act. It counts. Your phantom gets hit. You get stronger because the non-crits that hit your phantom counts. And I'm assuming it's the same for the shadow as well. It sounds like you might be having. This is like this is like Loki. It's like a self-buffing Loki. What in the world? And it lowers defense, bruh. He's lowering defense. What? So he's reducing their defense. So he buffs himself, self-buffing. He debuffs the opponents. He makes clones of himself as well so he doesn't get hit. And if they die, he only gets stronger if they're not crits. Bro. Additionally, for the short pause, well, I don't like the pause. Is he kind of like an Archimedes, or how long is that pause? That might be annoying. But yeah, he has a short pause, and then he attacks with his stick again, hitting everybody. That's crazy damage. Ooh. Oh my. The only thing 15% of... and he heals himself with his ult. His ult, so he's self-sustaining. He buffs himself. He makes the opponents weaker. And then he heals himself. The gall of this man. So clones, check. Buffs, check. Destroying defense, check. Heals himself with sustainability, check. My boy. The only thing that's kind of iffy about him, the damage is kind of low. The percentages, because I mean, maybe I'm just used to seeing that Marmaduke like over 1,000 attack, but he is a tank. But yeah, 300%. I don't know if that's huge. You know, I don't know if the attack is really there, but he's buffing himself so much that maybe that 300 is a lot. Maybe his stats are like insane, and it's gonna be hard to find out what his stats are like, because you know, we're only gonna get like maybe 1 or 2 copies of him. But Son Wukong, bruh, just having him on the team, he's gonna be amazing for bosses because he's gonna lower the target's defense. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be all the targets, right? But let's see how it looks like. So it's just him, and boom, already his phantom is there. So his phantom looks just like him, and then his shadows obviously just they're like black shadows over there. I thought we would maybe see more than 1 phantom, but it looks like we'll see at the very least 1 phantom will always be there, and the 8 seconds of him being there, by the time he's out, a second one will be there. And this is at low speeds, so we can see that there's not too much time where the phantom isn't there, and that phantom is going to be getting hit, and if it's a non-crit hit, he's only going to get stronger. And that 90% for the phantom, that would mean that the 90% stats that the phantom would get from Son Wukong would only grow. Your phantom will get stronger as you get stronger every 8 seconds. So it's kind of good that it doesn't last forever. And then those shadows do come in, but usually it's only 1 shadow. So yeah, it made it sound like you could have two different ones, 2 phantoms and 4 shadows, and you kind of just like take over the stage just by yourself, but guess not. Anyways, for the SSR, I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, summon. If you're already almost done with Oda Nobunaga, obviously keep focusing on him and finish him. He's He also could, he hits two opponents when he does his ult. He's also has lifesteal doing his attacks, and his attacks are very high. Which one's better than the other? I don't know. In my personal opinion, day one, just saw the character, just read his stats. I think Sun Wukong is better for PvP, and Oda Nobunaga is better for PvE. So that's what I think. And do I think he's useful all around? Yeah, I really do. I think he's also just as good for story. If it's, you know, your first day, why not try the flavor of a new UR instead of going with what everyone else does with Oda Nobunaga? I have so much Faust. What's going on? Oh, Faust is a feature UR, SSR? Okay. So like I was saying, I need two more Morgans. And then I'm done with Morgan. And after that, I'm going to get 2 more Odas. I'm doing 300 summons. Oh, please tell me the game doesn't crash here. All right, that was really slow. I better get like an SSR here. There you go. Nice. Dude, my SSR luck, I don't know what's going on, bro. It's really high right now. Woo. All right, I got Toe. So, you know, the Fox Girl, not useful. Neffy's max for me, so it's between Cam and the girl. I'm going to go with Cam. Cam has the ability to use Fear, and I'm thinking maybe when she gets stronger, having her and Oda on the same team would be good because they both do Fear. But yeah, man, bam, the one, the only Morgan. So then let's go ahead. Let's see if we get anything good. Nothing this time. Okay, fail. And then this time, once again, let's hurry it up. Boom, the one, the only, the Naga. Very, very good healer. Definitely should be on your team. I think, I'd say probably one of the best healers in the game. Her and Idun. I like Naga more because her excess heals becomes a shield. We got Freya, one of the best fighters. And then we got Faust, kind of like a DPS support. I don't know how Faust is doing nowadays. I never used him. He was a little too, I don't know, too glass cannony for me, but yeah. And then Neffy. Neffy, man, one of my favorite healers because she also lowers magical defense. And then bam, once again, we got Morgan. And I think we're just about done with Morgan because we got 2, right? So awesome. So with this, let's see. Morgan, look at that. It would have been hilarious. Hilarious to get Morgan then. But yeah, so I think I'm done with Morgan. So let's see if we can get the other 2 copies of Odin, and then I'll be done with Odin. And then my main SSR tank will be done. Currently, I have Athena, and I have, who's this? The Painter Girl. So I have Athena and I have Poseidon as my main tanks. But I don't know, man. Poseidon just isn't living up to it anymore. And let's hear him. Okay, okay, the one, the only, Son Goku. Let's go. Yeah, man. So obviously guaranteed pull. We knew we were gonna get him. I was hoping that I would have been able to get both Morgan and Odin completely maxed out, but it looks like I was only able to get one of the 2. Ended up getting quite a few Faust though, so that wasn't bad. But yeah, so now still looking forward to maxing out Odin. And I'm good for the event because I at the very least have the character, and you should be able to get the second character by doing 300 pulls during the events. I'm not sure when this video is going to come out because this one's kind of a long one, but I will have some follow-up videos talking about the events. Maybe I'll go over there a little earlier, but yeah, just a few more and I'll be done with Odin, and then my Morgan is done. Naga, I think I'm gonna work on Naga just so I can go ahead and have like another good healer. I don't know if I'm going to work on Faust. Faust is already kind of up there copies wise, so maybe just because of the dupes I'll work on him. But there's just so many other heroes like low star, low dupe level heroes that are SSR that I kind of want to work on, the main one being Apollo. But I already got other people to work on, man. And then for tanks, if I could work on RTO, the green tank, I totally would work on it. But, man, I just can't. But look at this, man. Just a little bit stronger. Attack, defense, HP, everything goes up, which is why having copies of characters are always really good, and why it's always good to just, at the very least, get a UR character, because it counts as both. It counts as whatever 2 tribes it is. So it counts both as a Viridian, which is green, and the Shadow Watch, which is red. So, boom. Good. And there's a lot of really good Shadow Watch units. So it's going to be easy to put them in a team and plug them in. And then there's also a lot of good Viridian units, like Freya. So Freya also makes tanks and fighters stronger, right, with their buff. So why not have him him in the team as a fighter as well? So Freya's gonna buff him. You know, definitely a good UR. But again, man, I don't know how he's gonna measure up. We looked at his stats. sounds pretty OP. Sounds very, very good for PvP as well. But I don't know how he's going to stack against Oda Nobunaga, which is another fighter. If we had like a crazy, I don't know. We also have a really good UR support in Dangun. But yeah. And like, as a free-to-play, I have no reason to work on a UR support right now. But I'm still not done working on the UR DPS. So, hey, man. So, UR Mage, Amaterasu, UR Fighter. I'm still going with Oda, even though we'll see how Sun Wukong impacts the meta. But yeah, so for right now, since I know I'm not going to get any more dupes of him, I'm going to go hard on his Divinity, because why not? No one else in my roster really needs Divinity. So I'm probably going to get him at least up to 15, and we'll see if I can get him up to 18 by the end of the event. But, you know, that being said, you only get maybe 1,000 or so gems, depending on how far you rank. I think you only need to rank within like the top 100, but ranking high in the event, you know, isn't great. You know, the rewards for ranking up high don't really matter, and that's probably because the people that are going to rank high are whoever has the highest BP anyways. I'm good enough with my account to easily get into the top 100 without much effort. But the biggest thing about this event is really just to follow the rules. There are a couple of people that just don't care to follow the rules. They're going to use the exact same team. So for the ones that say like you need at least 4 tanks, just use an all tank team, bro. And your one person is going to be your fighter. It's going to be Sun Wukong. It's going to be your designated, always going to be on your team character. If it has all supports, just throw 4 supports in there. You know, just support Wukong. Hopefully he clutches it for you. You know, if you need 4 fighters, throw 4 fighters. If you need them all 4 green characters, 4 blue characters, whatever it is, just do that. And you should, at the very least, be able to get 45 points, because everything is multiplied by 3 with your win. So if you do it at 15, it gets multiplied by 3, and you will get your 45 points. Just do that. Usually I start at 15. Earlier in the game, I used to start at 10, so I can get guaranteed 30 points. But at this point, I'm pretty much always guaranteed to get the W at 15. So that means a guaranteed 45 points, because I'm meeting all the requirements, all the steps for a ×3 bonus. And yeah, man. I think at highest I might have went 54 points, because I finished in 18. Maybe I finished in 19 and got 57 points. Max points per stage is 60. But for the most part, I'm at least 51 in the low stages. So like within the first half, everything's at least 54, I think. 54 or 51. And then towards the later stages, or stages where I maybe on stages that I can only use support characters, probably because I don't have Faust, I might be at like 45 or 48 for those stages. But yeah, man, if you're wondering, that's what you want to go ahead and aim for. You want to try to get at least 45 everywhere, and higher. So just always start there. It works for me. If it doesn't work for you, maybe try 10, so you could always get 30 points, or try 12. Just go ahead and slide that cursor to 12 and you should be a-okay. And then try to get a little stronger. You can get this dude's gear, his iconic weapon, to 200, and then you can get it to probably that's about as far as you're gonna get it. You can put it to 225, but unless you have enough copies and get him to red, you're not gonna be able to unlock it. So you could get the bonus stats for getting his iconic weapon to 200, and then you can get some bonus stats for getting his divinity up. After that, I don't think inherited divinity is something you should ever waste on a completely new minted UR character. Use it for the characters you're actually going to use to progress in the game, whether it's the like story side of the game, the PvP side of the game, or like just farming bosses kind of side of the game. So yeah, man. So like if you have Apollo, max out Apollo's divinity. The very last 2 on the corners don't matter, but the ones that stop at level 17 where you can get the divinity, and then on the 18th one, just get the last one that lets you enhance your character all the way up to 30. That way you have a fully built character. I don't know if the resistance, what is it, +2 or 3 resistance for physical and magical, I don't know if that matters. Comment down below if you're like a hardcore PvP player, or maybe even affects PvE, and you're just like, yeah, man, those 2 points of physical resistance and magical resistance is everything. That one divinity that you put on that side, on the left side and on the right side, those, man, that really matters. If it does, comment that down below. I don't think it does, but if it does, hey, let a guy know, and then I'll, you know, change my ways. But for right now, man, Sun Wukong, really cool. He looks amazing, right? The design is cool. The fact that it's Sun Wukong is cool, because literally this is where Goku came from. So I'm hoping he's meta. you know? I'm hoping against hope that he is meta, because I don't know if he's going to take out Oda Nobunaga. Of course, you could just implement him alongside him so that you can have two really strong fighters. But yeah, like I said, I can probably get the like 1,000 gems. But all you got to do is rank in the top 100 and you should be a-okay. And yeah, my rank is probably going to continuously drop lower and lower. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what I was talking about here. So I can move the slider up, right? And you just got to make sure to meet these 3 requirements. And each requirement that you meet will multiply your score. If you only meet one of the requirements, maybe it'll be like, you know, not to have anyone killed, right? And you can't really do much about that. Lower the stage. If you can beat the stage and get a 2x multiplier, you're not going to get as high of a score, right? If you multiply like 12 times 2 to get 24, it's nothing compared to being able to beat stage 10 and getting the 3x multiplier, not having anyone killed in your team, because that 10 times 3 is 30, compared to being stage 12 and only getting a 2x multiplier of 24. You get an extra 3 points. So always go for the 3x multiplier. See the highest stage that you can beat as long as you meet all 3 requirements to get the 3x multiplier, because if not, you're losing out on points. But hey man, even if you don't want to listen, at least do it for you, so that you're able to get like the maximum amount of rewards for beating the stage, because you do get your own little rewards for being able to beat the stage and getting, I think, like whatever amount of points. I forgot how much, because it's so easily capped. But yeah man, it's not a big deal. Get into the top 100, get a few gems, you know, it's nothing really. Get into the top 50, get a little extra more. Get into the top 20, a little extra more. It's not a big deal. And then what? You get an icon. You know, it doesn't matter. But what does matter is to make sure that you get all these little rewards in the bottom here. So as long as you can fulfill everything, doesn't really matter how strong you are, you should be able to get all the rewards at the very least, just by making sure that you have the multiplier. So hey man, if just knowing about the multiplier, figuring out, oh wait a minute, I do have to read, then I got you, bro. Make sure to comment that down below. Make sure to like the video and all that good stuff, and subscribe. Oh, also, if you are kind of like unknowing of things, you can always click to find out what things are. So obviously, I think it's more readily available to find out that the tank is the shield icon, that the warrior is the red sword icon, that the sort of mysticky sort of staff that's purple or bluish is the mage icon, and then that the little starry looking green thing within that same tab is the support icon. So you can click on those when you need 4 supports. You click just 4 supports. If mages, same thing. And then maybe the other ones that are maybe a little more difficult to remember are the color grades. So red, shadow arch, light, what was light? Lumen arch, so because light, luma. And then Viridian, like the Latin verde, or you know, or Spanish verde is green. And then what was the last one? Blue. What was blue? Guardian. There you go. Those are how all the colors are each thing. And like I said, as long as you play the events, you should be able to get to 300 and get the other one. I think you might have to buy it a few times, but yeah, peace out.